Hi, it's Jeff Schofield for UK Plant Operators magazine. I'm here today at the Flannery Operator Skills Hub. 3 months after its launch, I was keen to find out more about how things have been going at this facility. Let's go inside and meet the Director for Business Development, Paul Allman. Let's go and have a chat. Pleased to meet you, Paul.
Morning.
Thank you very much for the welcome, really do appreciate it. Looking to give the the subscribers and readers, listeners of UK Plant Operators an insight into what's been happening here. The facility opened at the start of the year, great fanfare, and it'd be great just to, as we go through this conversation, just find out how things have been going, and let's remind some of our readers about the objectives of the enterprise here. So perhaps we can start there. What was the objective when you set out to establish this facility? What were you looking to achieve?
We recognised that basically there was probably a shortage in terms of provision of high quality training, and we felt this was needed for us as a business, but also for the wider industry. So really give people the skills they require and meet the skills gap that's coming up with a range of opportunities there are in the sector over the next 10 years.
Were there considerations about where this facility may be around the country? So effectively, why Birmingham?
I think Birmingham is a great location. There's an awful lot of work going on around this area. We're pretty much the centre of the country, so it's easy to get to. But I think if you look at HS2 and the requirements there, but also there's a lot of people in the West Midlands who are out of work, looking for new opportunities, and it made great sense to position here on the doorstep of HS2, but also to meet the demands of people from the West Midlands as they're looking to get into new opportunities on the background of issues that have hit the country over the last few years.
How are the first few months gone? Are you on track to where you are? Just give me some sort of sense as to what you've achieved, and is it what you wanted to achieve in this period?
I think it's been slightly tricky. I think COVID and the impacts of COVID have had a big impact on people investing in training and people starting training programs. But we've had a huge amount of interest. I think in terms of training and trying to attract new people to the sector, this is a fabulous facility, really high quality, and I think as we try and bring new people in who haven't perhaps considered a career in the construction sector, this is a great place to start, and it gives a lot of insight into what the industry is about. We've got some great technology here, we've got simulators here, we're trying to bring people into the new ways of working in the digital world, and this is a great starting point for anybody considering a career in the construction sector.
And it's a great point, and we'll touch on the technology in a short while, but I'll just take you back to something you said there about COVID. I'd just be interested to know if this has happened, and you mentioned it in Précis there, but have people come from sectors that were more affected by COVID? Have they thought about construction and training as an operator as a career based on how their career may have been impacted in hospitality, for example?
Yeah, definitely. I was involved in some interviews a couple of weeks ago with some people who had some training through Wolverhampton College, and everybody pretty much on that interview programme have all been impacted by COVID. They've been working in the hospitality sector, they've been working in warehousing, in factories, and they've all lost their jobs due to COVID. And a number of them have been out of works for over 12 months.
Interesting there to talk about that particular strain, if you like, that particular route for those individuals, but perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about some of the other journeys that people have taken to get here, their backgrounds, the stories that you're hearing of the individuals, perhaps some of the age, the demographics. So who's coming to you? Where are they coming from, and what's their sort of backstory, if you like?
We're having a variety of different sectors, really, with different backgrounds. So we started off so far this year, Flannery's as a business really got involved with developing the new Trailblazer apprenticeship for plant operators. So we had our first cohort who came through in January, February of this year. A great bunch of people, a number of them now moved off and are working on sites across the country, which has been really positive for us. And some came from maybe the motoring trade, but a young lady who came from a background within the police force. So lots of different sectors, lots of different backgrounds. And I think the key thing about the construction sector, it does offer a career for anybody. And it's an easy career to get into with routes like we can offer with apprenticeships, and what we can provide through the Operator Skills Hub as well.
Yeah. And what's been, you mentioned Women in Construction, it's been a fantastic campaign to attract women into the industry, and how have you sort of seen that? Have you been surprised by the amount of applicants you've had from female audience?
I think we've been very positive about promoting women in the sector. We've done a lot of publicity about women that have come into our business. Last year we had 2 winners in an Apprentice of the Year awards, which is really positive, and we need to really promote those good news stories to try and attract more women into the industry. It's a very, very small beginning really, but I think we recognise as we sort of promote more the individuals and the backgrounds of the women that have come in, and we sort of really push the fact that it's a career for anybody.
What about people that are already in the industry? So where does this facility, or where can this facility help to retrain and to ensure that we retain the good people that are already in the business?
Yeah, I think that one of the challenges, and it's something that I think is recognised across the construction sector, is that there's a lot of training going on, but is that meaning that people are competent to do the jobs that they need to do? So I think one of the key things that we can offer with the operators is we can ensure people are competent, we can upskill people. I mentioned before we've made an investment in simulation. We're doing an awful lot of training on new technology, digital skills. GPS training is a key part of what we're trying to do. So we're trying to give people the additional tools and skills they need to really enhance what they're doing out on site, make them more productive, but also the key thing is to make them safer as well.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely fundamental, isn't it, in that regard. You touched on technology there and the simulators, and how many simulators do you have, and how does that work in the structure and the organisation of the training programme, if you will?
We've got 5 simulators based here at the moment, 3 which are used generally for plant training. So we can use that for profiling new entrants, to see if they've got the hand-eye coordinator that we need to put them onto different types of machines. We use it extensively for training on additional sort of tools and technology, like using GPS machine control, but also one of the key things we're focused on. There's been a lot of press at the moment about carbon. One of the challenges in the sector is April of next year, the red diesel rebate is removed from construction sites. So I think that's going to really push people more and more to focus on their fuel consumption and the carbon footprint. So by using the simulators, we can actually assess people's capabilities from a economy perspective. We can give them some training to actually reduce their carbon footprint and to actually make machines more economical, which will have huge benefits as well from a environmental perspective, but also from a cost perspective as well.
It certainly positions, doesn't it, the importance and the role of the operator in all of this, doesn't it? Technology and the machine are important. It's the operator that effectively is the conductor that orchestrates this whole this whole improvement in efficiency and effectiveness. And I suppose just one final thing on the simulators. I suppose as well that's helping the operators to be training all the time and not watching somebody training.
Definitely, we can. I suppose it's a safe environment. It's a carbon-free environment. If we've got people we're training out in our training field on different machines, when they're not being trained, they can come in and sort of brush up on their skills. It's a great piece of technology, and we're sort of focusing more and more on how we can develop the use of it and make it more suitable for what we need to meet the skills gaps of the future.
And I suppose when the process moves on from off of the simulator into the actual machines themselves and the operators of the future get on the operators of today get into the cabs. You've mentioned technology several times here. I know you've got some strategic partners in there. I think one of them SciTech as well, isn't it?
Yes, SciTech have been very supportive. So they've provided us with a simulator which they've configured with their latest GPS technology, which is called Earthworks. So and that's been really good. They've also given us some training modules. They've given us some tablets which are fitted with emulators to train new operators on the use of machine control. That's been a really key part of actually upskilling and training our personnel to make sure they're ready to meet the needs of the modern digital site.
And you mentioned safety, and of course that's paramount. That's the epicenter of everything we do. It's all part of our DNA. Have you thought about clearly what you're doing from a sort of standing start? You're setting you're setting a very high standard. Do you think there's going to be a benefit long term for safety standards in the industry?
I think everybody's recognised the importance of making sure workers are safe and confident when they get to the site. I think the key thing we're trying to focus really on the operator skills is making sure that people who leave our centre are ready for work, they're fit to work, they haven't just got a competency card, they haven't just got something which enables them to get on site. They are thinking about safety, they're thinking about working safety, and they have the skills and capabilities to actually go out there and be a safe worker.
The piece around sort of the social impact on this, how's how's that sort of working in the thinking and the outcomes of the business here? You're looking at training, you're looking at recruiting, you're looking at improving education opportunities. How are you sort of rounding that off, if you will?
I think one of the key things about this, it's not just about sort of training people through the industry already. We want to give opportunities to people from disadvantaged backgrounds. We're working at the moment with a number of military charities. We're also working with the prison sector. We're looking at trying to attract more women into the industry as well. We're looking at how we can help people get into work and looking at all the different opportunities that we can actually provide them. Also other avenues with the Department of Work and Pensions as well. And all this, we're working very closely with colleges across the West Midlands to enable them to get people who've had some difficult backgrounds. How can we get them to work, and how can we sort of provide them the opportunities that are available now on construction sites?
So perhaps we can talk more about the range of courses that are on offer. I'm sure there's high-tech and relatively straightforward courses. Perhaps you can just expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose the starting point of the centre was actually been able to deliver plant training. So we're doing the full range of foundation courses for new entrants, up to sort of courses for experienced workers, so they can pass their competency goal, also leading into an MVQ as well. In addition to that, we've built a brand new utility detection centre, so we're providing the EUSR, Cat 1 and Cat 2 utility Cat engineering type courses. In addition, we're working with a number of partners on competency assessments to making sure this goes above and beyond really the standard sort of CPCS sort of qualification, to make sure that people are fit and confident to go out to site, and we believe that they are ready to go to work. So that's another area we're looking at. And more specialist courses such as GPS training, and one thing that we're looking at now in diesel, we're starting to launch some courses on that, is eco training. A key value of Flannery as a business is sustainability. We've really worked hard on sort of developing the use of telematics across our business, and how we can actually provide our clients with data on the efficiency of their equipment use and fuel consumption. So one of the aspects we've looked at within the Operator Skills Hub is we can actually, within our Eco Operator course, which we're just about to start delivering, we can actually take telematics data off machines before people start the course, so we can sort of understand how they use machines and how efficient they are. We can then put them through a training program, and we can take the telematic data after they've done the course, so we can do a sort of before and after shot to see how worthwhile the training has been.
And you're sharing this data with the operators, so they're seeing this, understanding what the differentiators are, and may change their behaviours going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think the use of telematics is really going to expand across the sector over the next sort of few years, particularly as the cost of fuel goes up. I think that's a key factor in relation to that. But also across the industry, we're really a lot more focused now on carbon and also sustainability. So by actually sort of providing the operators with the information on what fuel they're using, if by training we can actually help them reduce their fuel consumption, operate more efficiently, there's a massive benefit for the site, for the project, but also for the wider environment as well.
I suppose then, just thinking more about, we've spoken about a number of partners, that strategic partnerships that you've set up to establish and deliver on your objectives. Are there any partners that you'd like to say a bit more about?
We just started a program with Phoenix Training. This is some funding training we provide for companies across Birmingham. This is really relevant to people who live within Birmingham itself. And basically what we can provide to people from companies within this region is training for GPS, for site safety, and also utility detection. And this is all basically free to the companies involved, free to the candidates, and it's giving them some great skills and competencies that they can use to improve safety on the sites across the West Midlands.
And then the very site here, the regionality of it all with HS2, is there a relationship there with that contract as well in particular?
We've been working closely with HS2 in terms of looking at the skill shortages and the type of people that they need and when they need them to actually meet the requirements of the project. But in terms of the operator skills, this is our first centre. The overall plan going forward is that we will develop other operator skills hubs. We're looking at developing one at the moment in Buckinghamshire to fulfil the need of that part of HS2, but for different regions around the country where we recognise there's a gap in terms of capability from the local training providers, and we're looking at sort of routes for new workers to come to work. We'll build other operator skills up. So this is the starting point of a bit of a journey really, and it's something that we're really focused on across the country, is how we can actually work with our partners and with clients to actually enhance the capability of current provision to actually provide opportunities for new workers to get into the industry.
So Flannery's are a sponsor of UK Plant Operators Operation of the Year competition, and I just wondered what you guys saw as the synergies to becoming a sponsor of the campaign.
I think one thing about the campaign is it's sort of celebrating the skills and the quality of some of the operators that are out in the sector. I've personally been involved in these for over 25 years, and when you look at some of these operators, it's amazing what they can do with the machine. So I believe this partnership really works well. It shows some of our new entrants into the industry what you can become, what you can do, and the skills and capabilities that some of these workers who've been in the industry a long time have been able to gain over years of experience and time in the industry. So I think it's a really positive relationship really. It's a really good signpost for new people of this is what you can become, and I think it works really well as part of the Operator Skills Hub partnership as well.
So we've spoke great detail here about the facility, all the value and benefits that it offers. For people that have listened to this and want to find out more, where should they go to?
Well, you can start with our website, which is the operatorskillshub.com. We've got a contact page there, they can get in touch with us. We've also got a very strong social media format as well, so we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're also on Instagram as well. So we're really looking forward to speaking to people and just finding out what they need and looking at how we can help them get into work and sort of signpost the opportunities available to them.
So it just remains for me to thank you, Paul, for the invitation to visit with you today. It's been great to see the facility here, to hear the story of the success of the Operator Skills Hub since its launch at the start of the year. I'll thank you once again and look forward to working with you in the future.
Fantastic, thank you very much.